Well, and you need a 3.5-hour drive. Right there. Now, most of that.
I go there every time.
I was worried about that. When we get back, everything. So last game, last 2 months, last game was faster. Better Friday. It took us one down to get the shot 35% first down.
Yeah. I went there, just a little bit. Outside the mark, last minute, over here, that's all 6 there.
We're actually, that's what you're saying. But now the secondary shot is 65. And then overtime shot 83. Probably the 2 biggest stacks I thought. We had 22 assists. They have 3 guys in the top 10 offensive rebounds. Is that right? One of them was not got down. One guy.
He's hit 16 off there, 9.
Like NBA,
Like D.
I turned him on one. I was like, are you
No? Okay.
Was that Grace? Is that good? He's moved from Grace to McGrath.
Is Grace closed?
You know, that became national festival. So we were red last.
What's kind of like we felt like here. It makes a big difference. They're always just physical. Yeah, there's a date, but they make sure they're graduating at 19.
No, he's from Shelby. It's actually the other way around. Nebraska, South Dakota.
Test.
Yeah. So he came out here. Let's go back to my dad. Yeah.
Well, here we go today. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming today to the sports lunch. And it's nice enough we could probably even sit outside if we wanted to. So I appreciate you coming here. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I sincerely hope that you all get to spend family time, quality family time this coming weeks. Thank you to Subway today, who's our sponsor. Really appreciate Subway's support in sponsoring our sports lunches. We've got a short list today. Coach Larson and Coach Ballander are out recruiting today over in the state of Wyoming. So called in a pinch hitter, and Coach Torvi is going to talk about her recruiting class. Yep, and she is leading us off here. So with that, we're going to bring her up here, and she can talk about her incoming Hardrockers.
I didn't know. Hello. How are you guys doing? So, I know you haven't heard about volleyball in a while. It's probably been really sad for all of you, but we have been very busy, Savannah and I. We obviously ended season, and we had a few kids committed at that time, but pretty much from November to now, we've been trying to grow our class size to be very big and very influential. So, been working hard on that. It's been very exciting. We've had a lot of kids on campus. Every kid that we bring on campus loves it here. Our administration sells it, our kids sell it, admission sells it, so we've done a great job. Our campus in general does a great job with visits, so it hasn't been hard, but you know, we are still challenging. We are going to talk about 7 kids, so right now we have 7 kids that have signed and are line. We have a few other offers out, so we're hoping to go even bigger, and when that happens, we will let you know. But we are returning 11 at this time, so that puts us at a roster of 18, and we'll just go from there. But we have a lot of work to do, so I'm really excited about this class. Recruiting is fun. I always enjoy it, and I would think of my coaching time, this is probably one of the most fun classes. One of the biggest goals Savannah and I was to recruit kids that obviously are not only talented, but play for championship level programs and are, as we call them, hype girls. So we really need young women in our program that are hyped about life, hyped about coming to school here, and just hyped about volleyball. So we feel like we have 7 of those, so we're kind of excited about it. So, but it's been got it. Okay, so this is Anna Thomas. Anna is DS Libero from Fort Worth, Texas. She is a fantastic kid. She was named the district defensive MVP, first team all district, a scholar athlete of the week, and she was voted one of the top 10 liberos in the Dallas-Fort Worth area by Dallas News. So that's, if you know anything about Texas volleyball, you know that that's legit. Texas is probably the 2nd best state for volleyball in high school, and Dallas-Fort Worth is probably one of the best areas where that happens. So, big deal. She also is ranked 1st in her class of 560. 700. Okay, so big class, big school. She's ranked 1st. So we're hoping she's going to graduate college tomorrow. That's a pretty big deal. We're kind of excited about that. She's been playing at a high level. She's a great kid, very intelligent. She will be studying applied biological sciences in hopes to go to med school. So we're stoked about it. This is Chelsea. Chelsea is a 5'11" outside from Mitchell, South Dakota. So we're excited about our quote-unquote local kids. It's not obviously Western South Dakota, but for us it's local. Chelsea had a very big high school career. She was named Under Armour All-American, honorable mention. As of that time when she was named on that list, she was the only kid that was committed to a D2 school on the All-American list. Everyone else was going D1. She was named a Max Player of the Week. She was first team All-State, Argus Super 6 second team, All-State tournament team, all-conference, first team all-conference. She was on the South Dakota All-Star team. She was the Republic Player of the Year, and she was a finalist for the Miss South Dakota Player of the Year, which she very much should have or could have won it. Her team made it to the state tournament. They lost in the second round, I believe, and they ended up winning the consolation bracket. But this kid is a big deal as far as South Dakota. If you talk to people, they'll probably know about her. She's a fantastic kid, very personable, very smart. She's going to major in pre-health with hopes to go to medical school. So we're very excited about it. As you know, we have Dana on the outside, we have Clarke on the outside. We need pins, period. So we're very excited about the impact she's going to have for us. Up next is Deja Barrett. I asked her how to pronounce it because I'm bad at this. Deja's going to major in chemical engineering. Deja is a middle from the Phoenix, Arizona area. She is a fun kid. She was named first team all region and second team all district. She plays for a very competitive club. This kid has a lot of personality, and she's going to be our hype girl. She's the kind of kid that loses her voice during matches, and that's the kind of kid obviously we need to have on our team. She is extremely athletic. She is about 5'10", 5'11", so a little undersized for a middle, but she can jump. She can hit the ball very hard. She can do pretty much anything you want her to. She can play on the pin. She can play in the middle. She can run slide. So she's going to be big for us, and I'm really excited to kind of grow her. I think in a big picture, she's very raw. So we're excited to, like, her ceiling is huge. She has so much growth, and I know she's going to do it very quickly. So really excited about her. Up next is Cassie Luce. Cassie is a defensive specialist and a setter from Meeker, Colorado, so Western Slope. Cassie is going to study interdisciplinary sciences. She thinks it with humanities. She was first team all-state, all-conference, and all-state selection, and she also competed at the USAB National Beach Championships and came in 17th. So it's a big deal. We like this kid because she can play beach, which means with volleyball, if you can read and react, you're a baller, right? So she obviously at the beach level, she knows what she's doing, she can play. Her team lost in semifinals for the state championships in Colorado. So, you know, she comes from a successful background. She's going to be good for us. And again, she's a hype girl. She's intense, she's feisty, so we're excited to have her. And the good news is she has a twin. So this is her sister, Chrissy. So Chrissy is going to be majoring in the same thing. Chrissy is also a defensive specialist. She also can jump. The kid's 5'7", but I think she's got like a 30-inch vertical. She was named first team all-state, all-conference, pretty much same awards. She also placed 17th in the National Beach Championships, and she also won the 18th division for King of the Mountain grass tournament in Vail, Colorado. So in Colorado, we have a lot of these big grass tournaments, and they're big time. Like a lot of big college players and former college players that come play for them, and she won the 18th division. So again, great defensive player. She's scrappy, she's fast, she's athletic, and she's a feisty kid. So we're excited about her. This is Lily Bartling. She is an outside hitter from Sioux Falls. She will be majoring in pre-health with hopes to go to chiropractic school. Lily is pretty much a baller. Her and Chelsea are going to be used for us on the pin. Lily was named the Adrenaline Player of the Year, August Super 6 first team. She was first in all-state, all-tournament team for the state tournament. She was on the all-star team, and she was also a finalist for Miss South Dakota Player of the Year, and is up for Gatorade Player of the Year for South Dakota, but we have yet to find that out right. So in AA in South Dakota, which is the highest level of South Dakota, they had 4 kids that were finalists for Player of the Year, and Chelsea and Lily were 2 of them. So we're pretty excited that we have 2 of the best kids in South Dakota coming to play for us, and this kid, Chelsea's a smaller kid, more like very athletic and explosive. Lily is bigger, she's 6'1", so she can hit the ball very hard. She's, you know, bigger and just, yeah, she's more powerful. She's going to be good for us. She played for Sioux Falls, Washington. They lost in the state championship to Stevens. If any of y'all watched that game. So she also broke the Sioux Falls, Washington's career kills record, which is a big deal because Sioux Falls, Washington is a great team, and they have some big kids, so we're excited about her. She'll be good for us. And then last is Victoria, call her Tori Zagorski. She is a 6'1" right side from Germantown, Wisconsin. She's also left-handed, so we're kind of stoked about that. She was named D1 Greater Metro Conference Honorable Mention, a Hawkeye Award recipient, was named to the Wisconsin Volleyball Coaches Association All Academic Team. So Victoria is a 6'1" kid who is very explosive, very athletic, very fast. She's left-handed, so ideally in volleyball you want your right sides to be left-handed because it plays better against the block, you know? And she's going to be majoring in biomedical engineering. So we got 2 engineering kids out of our 7, but we have a great pre-med program and we're proud of that, so we make sure we saw that too. Tori is going to be big for us. I anticipate Tori playing for us and being very impactful. And again, our biggest weakness this year was having not a lot of pin hitters and not a lot of middles. So we're doing that, we're getting there. We're hoping to add more middles, and that's kind of our big picture. But I'm very excited about this class. We hope you are too. They're going to be fun, they're going to be feisty, they're going to be a difference maker for us. So very excited about it. As we get more, we'll keep you updated. We're very active on social media, so if you don't follow us on Facebook, you should. If you have Instagram, that's great too, because we love Instagram. We are hosting a winter skills clinic on January 19th from 10 to noon. It's just a 2-hour thing. We're doing K through 12th grade. So we're gonna have, obviously, littler kids on a separate court from the bigger kids, but our whole team will be coaching. Savannah and I will be coaching. So if you have grandchildren, daughters, nieces, nephews, because we will allow boys, please get the word out. It's gonna be awesome. So that's kind of what we got going on. Any questions?
Did the Gorski gal have any connection to school? We had this Gorski that played volleyball here. It would be about her mother, it would be about her age.
Different spelling, Tom.
What was it spell? Huh?
Y'all have some memories.
I can't hear you, Larry.
I can't hear you either.
How did you know I asked?
No, Tori was recruited by our former staff. She was one of the kids that Jenny and Chelsea had recruited in that process. And that kid, like when I got hired, called me day one. Was like, I'm coming to visit. What are we doing? I want to come. So she was very excited about being a student athlete here. So she was ours from the get-go, which is good.
Do you anticipate they'll all play right away, or do you?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really be making those kind of statements, but I think that they're going to compete hard, and they're going to push our athletes, and that's the thing we talk about, and even our athletes talk about in our end-of-year meetings is we don't have a lot of depth. So we can complain and make excuses that we're not being challenged or all those things, but at the end of the day, it does help to be challenged. So it's different when you got one person in your position, you got 5 people in your position. So they're gonna compete, and I highly think they're going to impact us immediately. Absolutely. Yes.
How many more can you recruit?
That's a Joel question. I mean,
If y'all get your checkbooks out,
Yeah.
we can start recruiting a heck of a lot.
yeah, we can get a lot more. No, we have. I don't believe in big rosters philosophically, like as my coaching, but we got to do what we got to do. We've won 8 games in 4 years. It's time to step it up a little bit, and recruiting 2 players each year isn't going to help us do that. We need to bring in some talent and bring in some spice. So, yeah, I don't want a huge roster. We have 18 lockers in our locker room, so we got to do with what we got to do. But this is what college sports are all about at this level. People come and go, and we have to prepare for those things. We have to just build a solid roster, period. And all of these kids are willing to be selfless and fight for what we want. And all of our returning athletes are stoked about this class because they want a competitive gym. So I think it's good for us. Yeah.
How many seniors do you have coming back?
We have 5 soon-to-be seniors. So we will be graduating 5 seniors in 2020, which is a lot. And it's a fantastic class. The senior class that we're going to have is great. They're going to be great leaders for them, and they're very impactful with our culture, so we're
So
happy.
you only have 6, you got 11 returning, so you only have 6 for the 2 younger class.
Well, so 5 to be seniors this coming fall. Yeah. Correct. So next year we will bring in a big class as well. Yeah. Anything else? Cool. Well, thank you, and please get the word out about our clinic. We're excited about it, and I'm here if you need me.
Appreciate what Coach Torvi and Coach Cox are doing with the volleyball program, and they're very active. They're an absolute treat to be around on a daily basis in the office, and not that their predecessors weren't. It was just it's great to have them on board. So our next speaker, like I stated earlier, Coach Larson is out recruiting. We have Coach Glenn to give us a recap of our trip down to Alamosa and Durango. Let's go.
All right, thank you. Yep, Joel said we had a trip down to Durango first and then over to Alamosa. One of our longest trips of the year as far as the conference goes. So it was really nice that we had it when we did. We were done with finals, and our guys actually got a day between the last day of finals before we left. So it was a good time to have this trip. As I've been up here saying many times, we really feel good about where we're going. And going down there, we actually had a lot of confidence in what we could accomplish as we were heading down there. Started off with Fort Lewis College. They, I think, had only lost 3 of their last 53 home games, something like that. Very strong at home. Been at the top of the conference now for the last 3 or 4 years. Really strong group coming back for them from last year. And so we knew it was going to be a tough task going in there. And they're also one of the top defensive efficiency teams in the league, so they're a little stingy on the offensive side as well. So as we got going in the first game there against them, the first half, honestly, the first 10 minutes, well, it couldn't have started any worse. We had 10 turnovers in the first 10 minutes. We were just really forcing things. We weren't moving the ball well. Guys trying to do too many things one-on-one. And so, but on the other side of it, our defense, once again, kept us around. And that's really what's been great this year, is that our guys continue to play very well on the defensive side of the ball. So at that 10-minute mark, finally, we started to see some things break. Still didn't hit a lot of shots. I think we were 0 for 7 from the three-point line. And so as we went into half, we were down to 8. And we felt really darn good about that, to be quite honest, for considering how poorly we had played on the offensive end of the floor. And so, we basically put two of those stats up there. We showed them that we were 0 for 7 and we had 10 turnovers. And when they saw that, we said we're only down 8. It's like, well, all it's going to take is we just got to come out there and play together. And we kind of started seeing glimpses of that towards the end of the half. And so we talked about being just one possession at a time, not trying to hit that 8-point shot, which does not exist. And we did. We started chipping away. And many times you watch this game, you'll see teams come down from a deficit. And they do that. They play really well, and they grind their way through, and they play one possession at a time. And they finally get over that hump, and once they get over that hump, it's almost like instantly they forgot what got them to that point, and they slip right back to the old habit that got them in the hole in the first place. And that's kind of what happened to us. We clawed back, and then pretty close about the 13-minute mark, we got up 1, and then we had 3 just terrible possessions again, and I think it got them back up to 5 points on us. We called a timeout. We talked about it. And we were right back to work again, and we really grinded our way and had a great half. We actually ended up shooting, I think it was 63% in the second half, and held them to 35%. Probably the 2 biggest stats for the game for me was, number 1, with us having the 10 turnovers in that first 10 minutes, we ended up with 22 assists. So we really started sharing the ball well. And when we do that, great things happen. And so that was a really cool stat for me to see. The other stat was that they are the best offensive rebounding team in the league. They have 3 guys in the top 10 in offensive rebounds and average 11 offensive rebounds a game. We allowed them 2 the entire game. So we didn't allow them, we were pretty stingy in giving them second chances. And they ended up shooting 35% and only got 2 offensive boards in that entire game. So that was a big stat for us to keep them down, because they are a good offensive team and have a couple really good weapons. that are a handful for you to guard. So obviously we got into overtime. And once we got into overtime, we just really played well. We shot 83% for the overtime and just did not give them much. They had 3 points in the overtime. And so it was a fun win. It was a big win. Not many teams walk in there and get W's, and so we were really excited about that. So then after that, we took supposed to be 3.5 hours, ended up being out 4 hours and 15 minutes thanks to a train sitting in the middle of the road on the way to Alamosa. And so late night, got up, actually had a great walk, and we really felt good about going to Adams State, and honestly played fairly decent. We didn't quite have the pop probably that we wanted, and I don't think they did too. It was just kind of an odd game, and so we were talking about it at the table here. It was, the announcer at one point said, "Come on, get up and give it up for your Adams State Grizzlies," and it was just like a golf clap all the way through. It was just a weird atmosphere, to be quite honest. And quite honestly, I think we kind of played to it a little bit, and they did too. I didn't think it was probably the cleanest game. There was one guy, I think, that really got into it, and that was their guy that shot 30% from the three on the year, only made 16 threes, and he made 9 on us. And so that was very unexpected. We just did not see that coming from him. He's a 60% free throw shooter, and he was launching them from NBA range. I just finally turned to Coach Triple. I said, "Really, you didn't see this coming?" And so,
It was my scout.
It was his scout. So honestly, that was probably the biggest difference in the game is his 9 3-pointers. We were right there, right up until about the 6-minute mark, and then we just kind of stalled out offensively. And it looked like we were a little tired. It's really the first time this year that I really felt like we looked tired. Generally, the second half of all we played a lot of Friday, Saturday games leading up to conference, and of course this was our second weekend in conference. And we've actually played really well in that last 10 minutes. And I should say last 20 minutes of the second game on those weekends. And so we actually said that at halftime. We said, "Hey, we've got to feel pretty good about this. We're only down 2, and this is our half. This is the half we always play well in." And we just did not have that juice that we like to see out of our guys. So we didn't finish it off very well offensively. Defensively, again, we kept ourselves in the game. We did some great things. We took the leading scorer out of the game, and but those 9 threes were really a big factor in the end for that. So obviously we're off now. Big break here. I think our guys really need it, especially a couple of our freshmen that have been playing a lot of minutes. I know we're going to see some clips here and there. We're going to talk a little bit more about them here in a second. We got some guys that hadn't seen their families, like Logan Ellers hadn't seen his family in over a year. So he was really excited to get home. And we talked about that was kind of a concern going into the weekend, because this weekend is a lot of times a trap weekend for that. You get kids kind of looking ahead to the break and stuff. And I didn't think we did that. I was really proud of our guys with the focus that they had, and really understanding that, hey, okay, let's take care of this first, and I promised, I said, once the game's over, we'll think about Christmas break and let you go. But they did a good job of focusing with that. And overall, a great weekend. You can't really complain about a split on the road in conference. As a coach, you get greedy, especially when you win that first one, and you really want that second one. But at the end of the day, when you really get some perspective on it, we were pretty happy about the way that ended for us to end the semester like that. We've got ourselves in a great position to try to still earn a playoff spot in the conference. It's just a muddled mess right now. I think there's basically one, maybe you could throw a second team in there that's clearly above everybody else. And then after that, it's pretty tight race. We're technically, I think if you look at the standings online, it says we're 10th, but we're basically one game out of 4th. So we could easily be sitting right up there in 4th place, tied for 4th with like 4 or 5 other teams. So we're in a great spot, and look forward to getting those guys back and just getting back after it, and hopefully Santa drops off a few jump shots with them. So before we get going, or I guess first before we get any questions, Brad, you got to get that started. He's got some clips here from our Fort Lewis game. Had some great performances out of some guys here. And right off the bat, I think his first play is Mitch Schuster brings it out, and you can see the passing, and starts off with a dunk. And I think we had like 3 dunks in the game, one by Mitch, one by Damani, and one by Alec. I think they're all on here as we go. But you can see us moving the ball pretty well. This is our ball screen offense. Alec makes a nice turn in the corner and drops it off to Logan, and has a nice finish. And we got a lot of great looks in the lane. we really owned the lane against them the entire game. Great pass by Wenzel Sterling, who hasn't played in a while, and so we're starting to get him into the rotation again a little bit. Nice up and under move. We've really been working with that with Logan. Logan, if you're not familiar, he's not a leaper, and so we're trying to convince him that he needs to start using those shot fakes like that, and he's starting to really come around using his pivots well. Nice move by Troy Brady. Obviously, we're used to seeing him doing threes. That's a nice little crossover on a guy as he came through. Here, Devani gets a kick out to Jack Fiddler. Jack kicks it to Wenzel, and Wenzel knocks down a three in the corner. Again, just sharing the ball. 22 turnovers is it's a tremendous stat, and we do have a lot of success when we share the ball. And Troy here, we're running our little inside action, little triangle action. Does a great job of reading the screen and popping open. And then Alec, when playing a game, when we're shooting like we were in the second half, they start tightening up the shooters, and start opening the lane for Alec, and that's some of the things he can do. And here's a nice play. This is another thing that Alec brings to our team. He's got great hands, and then goes up and pops one there towards the end. And this is late in the game. They're trying to press us, and again, attacking the press. Good job of finding an open guy here and laying it up and in, and that's again getting us up by 2. I think here in Logan, we don't work on this shot. As Coach Hardrock says, the bank is always open. Okay, so even at 8 o'clock at night in Durango, I guess it's open. So there's another nice move by Alec. Again, just very under control. Made some nice plays in this game. Had a rough start, but really finished the game well for us and did some nice plays. And then again, Troy Brady had a great game shooting the ball for us. And that's what he's obviously capable of doing. He's had a great semester. He has shot the ball well for us. We kind of get on him by not shooting enough. Here's a nice little play again. Devani getting his dunk to basically finish up the overtime for that. So that was nice to see. So with that, is there any questions from anybody?
Who do you have coming up after break?
Okay, after break, good question. We play right off the bat with the women. We will actually have a doubleheader on New Year's Eve, and I'm trying to remember. Is it 1 and 3? 1 and 3. It's 1 and 3 against Nebraska Christian. Okay, and so it'll be a nice game for us to play before we get back into conference. I like that game is there. To come back off a break, we're going to get we're coming back the 27th, so if my math is correct, we get 4 practices in. Hopefully, I told the guys, go ahead and eat, but make sure you're running it off. And hopefully we're not just sitting on couches and stuff, but we'll work our way back into shape. And it's just, I think it's a nice little tune-up game to have before we get back into it. Because then after that, the next weekend, we're back on the road to another long road trip to Mesa and Grand Junction, Colorado, and Gunnison, Colorado for Western State. So, which will be like a good summer. What's that?
3 games?
No, 2.
Oh,
2 for 2 games. Yeah, 2 games there.
Mason Western.
So that'll be another great test for us right off the bat as we get on the road. Mesa has a new coach, and they are really playing with a lot of confidence offensively. They're putting up a lot of points. So it'll be a great test for us for obviously where we are defensively. Yes?
It's early in the season, but any thoughts with regard to the fact that we got so many close games and 2 overtimes? And what do you do as a coach if that's the key to this early?
Well, I don't sleep much at night, number one. You think about every little thing that you could have done differently just to kind of turn that tide a little bit. But, overall, though, I'm just really excited for our team. I would much rather be in those tight games. And I know some people sometimes say when you lose one like the BH game, well, I just assume it'd be a 20-point loss and it doesn't hurt so much. I don't mind that they hurt because that means we're playing well, and you're going to have those type of things. So we're excited with that. I think, when you look at some of the guys that we're playing, Damani Hayes, Mitch Suker, they're 12 games into their college careers. And right now, Mitch is their leading scorer. So I think there's a huge ceiling there with him. And like I said, Damani has been a great surprise for us this year. I didn't know that he was going to play this kind of role for us. And so this second semester, I think they're going to get a chance to go home here for 10 days, decompress a little bit. We've talked about them, hey, let's reflect a little bit on the semester. And now that they know, it was a huge, not just basketball, just from a student and personal experience, it's a big transition for them. And so they're going to come back basically veterans, as I told them now. And they come back from Christmas and be able to hopefully know what to expect a little bit more, and I think we'll see some really good things out of them. And I think also expect some great things out of some of our other veterans that are coming back that are starting to play well for us also.
Coaches, injury wise.
We're really good, yeah, knock on wood. You know, but obviously our strength staff is doing a tremendous job, putting our guys in a great position to stay strong and not break down during the season. We've been very happy with that. Our training staff does a tremendous job of, you know, doing a lot of prevention stuff with them as well. So, no, we're doing very well in that area.
Was the Sunday afternoon game any of a factor in that weekend trip? I know it's different, like you said they were tired.
I don't know. Me personally, I just felt like it was another game day. You know, because we always try to keep the same routine and everything. You know, I think it was a factor, maybe just for both sides. And like I said, the crowd was just a different crowd. Yeah, it definitely had a weird feeling to it in the gym. And you know, I haven't been to Adams State in a couple of years. You know what kind of crowds they've been getting recently and stuff. But yeah, it was just an odd feel that way. But I think from our guys' standpoint, you know, it was just a normal game day. We went through our same routines and everything. And just for whatever reason, like I said, it was the first time that I felt like we looked tired. And I don't know if it was the overtime game. I did have two guys that played 41 minutes in a 45-minute game. And so, you know, it's the old ad, you know, for me, maybe you look back and say, maybe I could have breaking down, but, you know, if I feel like I'm going to win a game on Friday night, I'm going to do all I can. I'm going to put my best players out there and win it. And then we'll see what happens on the next night. So I don't really have a regret for that, but you kind of look back and you wonder if there was something else you could do in that regard. And we knew that going into the game, and we tried early on to give guys breaks, and we did. We had some guys that played less minutes than what their averages were and stuff. And so, for whatever reason it is, I can't really put my finger on it why, but we'll move forward and hope that it doesn't happen again. Yes, sir.
Where do you think we as fans will see improvements from next semester over this semester? You guys just made anything that's going to really kind of knock your socks off?
Well, I tell you what, I don't know about knock your socks off, but I think that we're just going to continue to improve. I think we're starting to see that improvement offensively, and I think once you see that, then that win-loss thing could flip for us. You know, like I said, I've been really happy with the fact that when you're struggling like we were really struggling there for a while offensively, and usually your defense breaks down with that, and it didn't break down. We really continued to play at a very high level defensively. So I'm pretty confident that our guys coming back will continue to do that. As they're seeing where they are in the conference statistically, we're taking some really pride in that area now as well. So when we start seeing the ball fall a little bit more here over this last weekend, and guys you just see the confidence in their step, like, okay, yeah, I know I can knock these shots down. And so I don't know if that'll be groundbreaking or anything, but I think it's really, honestly, we keep some stats, and I always like to compare us to other teams in the league. And so one of the teams I do compare us to is the guys up the road, because I do feel like if you look at their roster and our roster, we got a lot of similarities in players and stuff. Be quite honest, I mean, it's like 2 shots here, 3 shots there. And, you know, they're 5-0, we're 2-3. We could easily be the other way around right now. So it's a very small window of difference between us and where some of those top teams are. Now, Colorado Mines, they're playing extremely well. Their efficiency on offense is unbelievable. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody have the efficiency. They do have some good veterans coming back and stuff, but you know, they're out of 68 possessions a game, and they're averaging 83 points a game. That's just phenomenal. And I haven't really seen them on tape yet, but everybody else in the league, boy, I feel really confident that you know, we can go in every game. We're going to be ready to go and have a chance to come out with a W.
Eric?
Yes.
It's been kind of a whirlwind semester for you. You started as your normal, what you've been doing in the past. How about the transition for you personally from going to an assistant with defined duties, now it's a little different, you're in charge. How have you felt? Have you made the transition quickly now? I know you've been coaching for a long time.
Well, overall, no. I don't think I probably made it completely 100%. You know, obviously I've had great support from our administration staff that's helped us out through the process and stuff. You know, I talked to Joel way more than I ever did as an assistant. So we see each other quite a bit. But the thing is, you know, getting Roger, getting Roger when we did was a big help for us, and be able to have a guy that I can trust right away, not have to really teach a whole lot of what we wanted to do from a basketball standpoint, and really give some practice, so I could kind of take some more time to do the administrative things that head coaches have to do, speaking at engagements like this and stuff like that. And so, you know, this is, but I think still the process of it is going to still take some time.
Has your relationship changed at all with the players from assistant to head coach?
Well, in my eyes it hasn't, but in the guys that see different playing time, probably it has. Okay, I mean, that's going to be natural. You know, when you're the assistant, you're a good cop, and when you're head coach, you're a bad cop. So that's kind of the way it works. But you know, I think for the most part is they know we care for them, and we tell them that every single day. And everything we do, you know, is not a personal decision from a basketball standpoint. It's doing whatever we can do for the team. And we do a lot of great things with them other than just go and play. Coach Trinipol has some great stuff that he's used over the past years to teach them, you know, how to mentally handle things from an adverse standpoint and stuff. So, yeah, there's probably some differences in relationships that way, but overall, I think they still know where I stand with them. Yes?
Did you talk to Santa about the money not cutting his hair?
Well, Damani knows that. We've told him is that for 4 years, he's going to keep the same hairstyle all 4 years. He doesn't get to change. So that's a must. It's like Samson, I told him. He's got to keep that hair. So. Anybody else? Well, great. Well, have a great holiday, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the 31st. Thank you.
That was, I don't know if did anybody watch the Adams State game by chance online? That kind of took me back to my youth, like watching college basketball and football back in the day on the round tubes. Brad and I talked about that a little bit, and it was difficult to make out numbers. It wasn't high definition. It was, you could barely make out the colors of the uniforms. But I did unfortunately see that young man shoot those NBA jump shots that just seemed to find the bottom of the basket. Which kind of jogged my memory of like favorite Christmas gifts. And I was just wondering if maybe anybody in the room would like to share, Tim Henderson, what your favorite Christmas gift from Santa is of all time?
Oh, I've had so many.
Larry, Christmas, Santa, what's Santa bringing you right now? Nothing? Must have been a bad boy then. Anyone want to share? Tom, what was your favorite Christmas gift back in the day?
I can't remember back. That train set.
Train set? No? Coach?
Horse, we got a horse when I was a kid.
Well, that's a good one.
What was his name?
Ginger.
Ginger, her.
Yep, she had a little baby named Senna. Lived right over here, right across the street.
Coach?
Mine was a double-decker boombox.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. That was pretty big time back in 1980.
1980. Very nice. Oh, I also, Coach Glenn just celebrated a birthday on Saturday. 29 and holding.
Got a W that day.
20th, 29th birthday.
20th. Our next sports lunch is going to be January 8th. Please mark your calendars. Prior to that, though, please bring a friend to the December 31st basketball games. They are in the afternoon. Come celebrate New Year's Eve with us. Mark my words, we're going to get 2 W's from men and women's basketball. So it'll be a great day to be a Hard Rocker, just like every other day. Our next sports lunch is January 8th. Here in the Hall of Fame, we'll be serving concheros, and we're going to have a very, very special announcement that day. So make sure you're here, and make sure you bring a friend with you. I want the room packed. Thank you again to Subway for sponsoring today's lunch, and thank you to everyone here for everything that you do for the institution. and Hardrocker Athletics. Thank you very much. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. We'll see you soon.